In the silent, forgotten corners of our world, there are buildings that hold more than just dust and decay. They are monuments to lives that were never fully lived. Grand, imposing structures now hollowed out by time, their windows like vacant eyes staring out at a world that has moved on and left them behind. These are the abandoned orphanages. Once, these halls echoed with the sounds of life, the laughter, the cries, the hurried footsteps of children. But now, a different kind of sound lingers, a whisper on the wind, a faint melody carried through a broken corridor. The ghostly echo of a child's game, played out in the shadows long after the players have gone. Tonight, we step across their crumbling thresholds. We listen to the stories that the walls themselves seem to tell. These are the tales of the spirits of abandoned orphanages, the lost children, bound to these places by tragedy, forever searching for something they can never find. Paranormal investigators and psychologists have long debated why certain locations seem to retain an imprint of past events. The prevailing theory is one of strong emotional energy, a place that has witnessed immense joy, or more often, profound sorrow and trauma, can become a kind of recording device. The stone, the wood, the very air itself absorbs the energy of those who lived and died there. And what energy could be stronger, more potent than that of a child's? A child's hope is absolute. Their fear is primal. Their heartbreak is bottomless. When a child's life is cut short, especially under tragic circumstances, that powerful, unfinished energy can linger. It's not a monster. It's an echo, a loop of a memory, replaying itself over and over. They are not here to frighten us. They are simply lost, still waiting for parents who will never return, still looking for a playmate in a game that never ended. Our first story takes us to what was once known as Blackwood Manor, a sprawling Victorian estate repurposed in the late 19th century to house the city's unwanted children. Blackwood Manor was not a happy place. Overcrowded and underfunded, it was a place of cold beds, thin blankets, and even thinner soup. But for the children, it was the only home they knew. Among them was a little girl named Lily. She was 7 years old, with pale hair and eyes the color of a winter sky. Lily had been left on the steps of Blackwood with a single worn locket around her neck. Inside was a faded photograph of a woman she couldn't remember. Her only comfort was a song. A lullaby the oldest matron would hum when the nightmares came. Hush, little baby, don't say a word. One frigid night in the winter of 1908, a faulty furnace in the basement sparked a fire. The flames moved with terrifying speed, consuming the old dry wood of the manor. Panic erupted. The matrons tried to herd the children to safety, their screams lost in the roar of the blaze. But Lily didn't run. She had been told by her matron to wait in the main hall if she ever got lost.
that her mother would one day come for her there. So as smoke filled the air and the world turned to fire and shadow, little Lily stood by the grand staircase, clutching her locket, and waited. She was still waiting when the ceiling collapsed. Today, Blackwood Manor is a ruin, a skeletal frame open to the sky. Urban explorers and ghost hunters who dare to enter its grounds report the same chilling phenomena. On still nights, they hear the faint, disembodied humming of a lullaby.
They capture electronic voice phenomena, EVPs, where a small, plaintive voice asks a single, heartbreaking question.
The most common report is an overwhelming sense of sadness near the spot where the grand staircase once stood. Visitors feel a sudden, intense cold, and some have even felt the ghost of a tiny, cold hand slip into their own, as if a child is seeking comfort and guidance out of the darkness. They are not feeling the touch of a monster, but the echo of Lily, forever waiting in the hall for the mother who never came. Not all the spirits are searching for parents. Some are simply looking for a friend. Our second story takes us to the Grantham House, a smaller institution that closed its doors in the 1950s due to a wave of disease that swept through its residents. Here, the tragedy was not a single violent event, but a slow, creeping sickness that stole the children one by one. Unlike Blackwood Manor, Grantham House is largely intact. Peeling paint, rusted iron beds, and toys left scattered on the floor, as if their owners simply walked away for a moment. But they never returned. Those who investigate Grantham House don't report the profound sadness of Blackwood. Instead, they report the sounds of play. They hear the pitter-patter of unseen feet running down the long, dark hallways. They hear the distinct sound of marbles rolling across the floor of the empty playroom. The most unsettling reports come from the main dormitory. Visitors speak of a feeling of being watched, as if from the shadows of the empty bunk beds. They feel an invitation, an urge to play a game of hide and seek. One paranormal team left a set of motion-activated ball toys in the center of the room. For hours they sat in silence. Then, one by one, the balls lit up and rolled in different directions as if kicked by invisible feet. On their audio recorders, they captured the sound of children's laughter, but it had a strange, hollow quality. It was the sound of a game that has been played for so long, the joy has been worn away, leaving only the ghostly habit. The game, however, can turn sinister. One explorer, hiding in a closet as part of a mock game of hide and seek, felt the door being held shut from the outside. A cold dread washed over him as he heard a chorus of faint whispers right outside the door. When his friends finally opened it, there was no one there, but their EVP recorder, left running in the hall, had picked up a chilling phrase spoken in the sing-song voice of a child who has just won a game.
The children of Grantham House are not waiting for their parents. They are waiting for someone new to join their endless game. They are the lonely spirits of playmates, forever seeking a new friend in the echoing halls where they spent their last days.
From the solitary, sorrowful spirit of Lily to the restless, playful troop of Grantham House, the stories are different, but the core truth remains the same. These are the echoes of lives interrupted, the psychic stains left behind by immense tragedy and unfulfilled longing. They wander these decaying structures, not as vengeful entities, but as fragments of who they once were. One is trapped in a moment of waiting, another in a moment of play. They are defined by their final, powerful emotion: hope, fear, loneliness. So the next time you pass a derelict building, a forgotten place with boarded up windows and the collapsing roof, take a moment. Look past the decay and the graffiti. Imagine the lives that were lived within those walls. And listen. Listen closely. You might just hear a child's whisper on the wind, forever asking a question that will never be answered, or inviting you to a game that will never end.